Alright, so we're going to go through with this interesting Jodah build I have here. And we have our 5 cards that are used for the main removal in the deck: Living Death, Fleshbang Marauder, Putrefy, Isolate, and Swords to Plowshares. I prefer Swords to Plowshares over Path to Exile just simply because it gives them life over land, and in this particular deck, we don't want them ramping out faster than us, even though we do have some things that allow them to ramp out alongside us. Faithless Looting is in the deck for card draw. That should actually be down here. Llanowar Elves is with the ramp, which is over here. So these are our setup cards, which will be used to basically just set up what we want if we happen to get them. Demonic Illusion will basically get us our entire combo if we get it at the right time. Trophy Mage as well can do the same thing. Vidalcan Aether Mage is used primarily to get out Trophy Mage, because this deck does not run many creatures, and Trophy Mage is the only other wizard. Conflux will get you your Demonic Illusion, your Trophy Mage, your Anger, and for green you're going to actually want Rites of Spring, so you can discard Anger, or you can discard Anger to Demonic Illusion. And it will also get you your Eldamari's Call, which you can use to grab your other creatures if you need. Or you can just use Corpse Connoisseur and throw that Anger right into your graveyard. We have Summoner's Pact for if you need to get creatures in your hand and you're going to win the turn that you do it. And Eldamari's Call for pretty much the same thing. This is the mana base. It's pretty basic. There's a few utility lands in here, and basically making sure you have mana of any color you need when you need it. Over here we have our Planeswalker suite for the deck, which is Nicol Planeswalker, Samut the Tested, Nissa Worldwaker, Chandra Pyromancer, and then we have the Oath of Teferi with it as well, and then a Sharkin Firebloods. Sharkin's probably the only one you'll be playing with the deck unless your game goes really long. Here we run Chromatic Sphere for card draw, Conjurer's Bauble for card draw as well. We have our Mana Suite, which is our Mana Rocks, which is Soul Ring. We run Simic Signet, Dimir Signet, Izzet Signet, Gruul Signet, Golgari Signet, a Talisman of Unity, and a Felwar Stone for all the 2 Mana Rocks. And then a Thran Dynamo for 4. And for 3 we have a Chromatic Lantern, an Ashnod's Altar, a Commander Sphere, Coalition Relic, Darksteel Ingot, and then for 5 we have Gilded Lotus. So our mana production should be pretty good for the deck with all that. Over here we have Ill-Gotten Gains, which is used for setup as well. That should be up there with those. And we have our ramp spells. So ramp spells, we have Rites of Spring, Cultivate, Kodama's Reach, Search for Tomorrow, sorry about the glare, Harrow, Sakura Tribe Elder, Elvish Spirit Guide, and the Llanowar Elves, which I mentioned earlier. We run 1 copy of Intruder Alarm, because it can help out with certain things. We run an Ewit, which will help bring back things that we don't want necessarily in our graveyard at the time that they're put in there. And Sylvan Library is used for card advantage. On to more card advantage. We already mentioned Faithless Looting is in that pile. And we have, to help draw some of the hate from us that we may get, we have Words of Wisdom, because it lets everybody draw 2 cards, which is nice. We have Brainstorm, so that we get to draw 3 and put 2 back on top. Ponder, which effectively Brainstorm sorcery speed, but a little bit better in some ways. Windfall, because this deck usually will have cards in its hand that doesn't want its hand, it wants them to be in the graveyard, as you will see. Fact or Fiction, because, you know, getting cards is good. Covenant of Minds, because, again, getting cards is good, even though it does give your opponent more of a choice. Cruel Ultimatum is in the deck as well. That's usually doesn't see play at all unless you're going really bad. And as for creatures, aside from the Corpse Connoisseur, Vidalcan Aether Mage, Trophy Mage, and the 1 Llanowar Elf, this deck runs 5 creatures. 5, 6, 7 creatures, 2 of which are in our combo, which we'll get to later. 8, because 3 are in the combo. Man, I'm messing up. So we run Sharum the Hegemon, Squee the Immortal, Scrap Heap Scrounger, Salvage Titan, and Narcomoeba. We'll get to why we run these particular creatures later. They're in here mainly for cards that are in the sideboard. So I do have 2 proxies in this deck right now, and we're going to get to those in a minute, but the combo pieces are Vigor. Now, the important part about Vigor is when Vigor is put into a graveyard from anywhere, you shuffle it into its owner's library, and it is a creature. Dread. Dread has the same ability. These were from a cycle of 5. You could run all 5 of these, but these 2 are the only ones I have, so that's why they're in here. We're running Desecrated Tomb, which is whenever 1 or more creature cards leave your graveyard, create a 1/1 black bat creature token with flying. We have the bat token I made. It's a little flying baseball bat. We have my Mesmeric Orb, which is a proxy, because I don't have one anymore. I need to get a new one of those. And we have our Anger, which is also a proxy. And then we have our Basalt Monolith. So the combo is, you have these 2 in your deck. This on the board, this on board, this on board. This in your deck or in graveyard. And you mill your library until these go back into your deck. You get bats, and this one will end up eventually in your graveyard. And once this is in your graveyard, you don't even have to bother. Like, you can just name, I'm going to do this until I get X amount of bats. And so the reason we run this suite in here, these lovely creatures, is because with these, you can add into the deck Bridge from Below. And, well, not really Bridge from Below. You don't need Bridge from Below. But you can add in, you can put in, what's the name of the card? Dread Return, I think it's called? Yeah, Dread Return, which is 2 black, 2 colorless, sorcery, but it has flashback, sacrifice 3 creatures. Now with these guys, Squeak can be played from your graveyard. Narcomoeba comes back from your graveyard when it hits your graveyard. This, you just sacrifice, you remove 3 artifacts in your graveyard from the game, and then you can play it by sacrificing 3 artifacts. At this point, you'd already have all these mana rocks at, so he's basically a free creature. And there's only 1 and 1 black to exile another creature card from your graveyard to return him to the battlefield. So not only do these trigger bats, but you can also sacrifice them to flashback your Dread Return, returning to play Shurrim the Hegemon. Now, if you run Dread Return in the deck, you're going to be taking out most likely the Intruder Alarm, because it's usually a dead card, and the Cruel Ultimatum, and you're going to put in a Blasting Station into the deck, and you're going to put in the Dread Return. So anyways, that is a legal Horseman combo in EDH, because